St Neots Town 0, Leamington 1, but I don't think that's a true reflection of the game. I got mixed emotions today for some reason. I thought we made them look pretty ordinary first half, not so much second half, but you know, if we'd got a goal first half, which we deserved on our performance in the first half, there's a saying, passing a team silly, and I actually think we've done that first half. What's your thoughts on the game today, Ian?
I'm a bit disappointed. Obviously, the result. I thought we actually did deserve something out of the game today. Disappointed with the goal. I thought it was an out-and-out free kick, but which was clearly missed by the officials. But we had our chances. On another day, we had 3 or 4 free kicks, I think. Didn't we? Central that on another day, Louis or Jay would have dispatched, but wasn't to be today. Our set pieces were a little bit off key today, but the first half we were in at half time. We were just nitpicking, to be fair, because of the way we performed. And you know, we said to them before, this game today will give us an opportunity to be a bit freer and relax a bit and play, because nobody's expecting us to come away with anything today.
Well, Andy, it was us who come out of the blocks, wasn't it? So we had 2 chances in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So we come out of the blocks, looked after the ball, and we were pretty unlucky then. So what's your take on that?
Well, like you say, we come out full steam ahead, and for us to get shots off early doors is not something that we're used to. But I think that just the way we kept the ball, it was a very similar first half to our first game against Cambridge City, where we got the ball, we moved it wide. They were giving us too much space out wide, and Dan and Louis were holding that, and then the midfield were finding them quite early doors. So just on possession alone, we dominated them through the whole 45, and like Ian said, we went in at half time and we was just nitpicking.
But if we can go back to the phone game, because you know what you were saying about, you know, possession, it's all right having a lot of possession and passing it, and then being a bit slow moving it forward. Right from the off, you know, I thought they took on your instructions where you got to get the ball forward a lot quicker. And I think that was the key to the first 45 minutes. Not only our possession, but they were doing what you said they weren't doing against Frome.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the balls against Frome, we was getting the ball in the middle of the park. We were playing square. Yeah. We was playing square into feet, not in front. Today, we were getting the ball in the middle of the park, and we were playing diags out wide, further up the pitch, which then puts the back four on you know, on their heels, and we can drive at them again. And we was delivering into the ball. For the first time today, we spoke to Ben about getting across the front of the keeper, and we done that, and we nearly got some joy out of that, just getting across the front of the keeper, putting a bit of pressure on it, and the balls were coming in from wide. So it was a lot better today.
Yeah, and Ben done well first half. I have a different opinion second half, because I thought he over-tried second half, and you know, he could have released it a bit earlier. But you know, hey, anybody can stand there, watch a game and talk about it, and you're not the player on the pitch. But so what did you say half time to them?
Oh, we just told them to like manage the game. You know, we've done so well. You know, we knew, and I thought it would be difficult to replicate that coming out again for another 45 minutes. So it's a case of managing the game, getting behind the ball, working hard, start quick, because we have a habit of conceding cheap free kicks after kick-off, and most of them lead to a goal. So we stood up to the test really well. The only disappointment in the second half was the fact that we were getting out-passed with the first ball, so we weren't close enough to pick up the pieces. Our midfield became a little bit fragmented, whereas the first half we were sort of quite rigid with the pair, and the top two went and come back together. We were sort of a little bit broken, but you know, it's quite a big ask for them to keep bombing backwards and forwards, and the 2 centre mid pair have been in bed all week ill, and it's, you know, we're not sort of dragging excuses because they played ever so well, you know, but we were not on bare bones today. We had we picked what we had today, other than Arthur, really. Yeah,
well, we've got to look at that way. Now, what about Leamington second half? What did they do to up their game, or what did they do to hurt us? Well, besides scoring a goal, of course.
Well, they'd done exactly what we thought we was going to get at the beginning of the game, and they didn't quite materialise. They come out full throttle, and they went early. They went forward a lot earlier than they was in the first half.
Played a lot higher up as well, didn't they?
Steph started to pick out the little pockets and cause us a few problems, getting little runs. But I think that Geordie
was fantastic
today. He coped with Steph magnificently. He man-marked him, really. You know, him and Gav were swapping over and that. And I just think that They were going early, and we just got caught under the ball.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We got caught under the ball, and then we wasn't dealing with a second ball, and that's where a lot of our goals come from, conceded anyway, is dealing with a second and third ball.
Just managing that game. And we said about is like, we tend, we had such a good positive first half, and we tend to sort of, when we haven't got the ball, we tend to get in areas and wait to attack instead of, it's like two different games, when you haven't got it, you have to get behind it and work hard and defend, and then we can attack. It's the second part of the game. And I think if you get yourself the right side of the ball to start with, when you do win it, you face it in the right way and you can put it.
And one of the things I noticed first half, but when our two fullbacks were getting forward, they were giving lovely, overlapping good, their passing was good, but sometimes people don't realise that when teams start pushing and playing further up the field, it's limited to what they can do because the other side's too far up, and closing them down. I thought Sagey at left back, and I thought young Ryan at right back both had great games, to be honest with you. And I thought Geordie played well, and I thought Gav done all right. I thought that back four played really well. We didn't give hardly any opportunities really. They had a looping shot on the bar, which was more luck than judgment. And the goal, as you say,
I think for me,
Sagey got blocked out, and
if you look at the first half, we started brightly, and we didn't concede a free kick till 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
and it was in our final third. In the second half, we've come out and we've conceded 3 or 4 within the first 10 minutes.
Really dangerous positions.
Two of them led to corners.
And
and that's the strength in this. At this level, that's something that we'll take on board for next season. This is what we need to maybe work a lot harder on the training ground, our set pieces and deliveries. I mean, we've got people in there that can deliver for fun, usually consistently. We're a little bit off it today, but
our free kicks.
Yeah.
I think we've tested the keeper a couple of times in the first half with it.
Yeah, but
he's had to make a couple of saves.
Yeah, but they were just pick-out saves, weren't they? They were the ball, the flight of the ball was there, the angle was there, but the power wasn't there. And that was bad.
Like me and Purry was talking during the game, and we said that players do have an off day. You give him the ball, give Louis the ball, give Jay the ball. 99 times out of 100, they'll deliver. It's just the odd chance that it doesn't happen.
We don't see the amount of effort. Well, we do, but we don't. They put a lot of effort in that first half, and it does have an effect on the technical.
And if we could have cushioned that with a goal, it might have been a lot different. Well, we certainly wouldn't have lost the game. They might have got a draw, but if we'd had a cushion of a goal, we would have done even better. But it's a 1-0 against Rome last week where we were disappointed. You two disappointed with the team and their commitment and how they worked it out. I think it's 1-0 this week against a side that's riding high. Their manager actually just said thank you very much for the hospitality and what a fantastic setup, and we're doing the right things. And he said we're probably the best team he's played. As far as football's concerned, because we concentrate on playing on football.
I think this is the first time. First time in a while I've come in. I know we've lost today, and it's tough to pick the players up and say. But I do actually think after today, even though we've lost, we are. You can see we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think so.
You can see I've had a couple of friends come up to me in the bar and said, "I'd rather lose playing like that." Than playing the way a lot of the teams playing.
Well, that's
exactly what I said to you today.
As chairman, that's my feeling all the time. I want to play football, and what I saw today was players who can play as a team. They can pass the ball. They can make the top of the league look very, very ordinary and frustrated. But what's pleased me, especially in the first half, is that I know that the group we got, because I think supporters know and we know our player turnover has been a bit of a revolving door over the last 6 weeks. And of course, we also have to take in consideration we have to bring these players in. And when you look at the players who have come in lately, you're looking at Jack's not a new face, but he's only been here short. Well, let's see what we started off the season with: Ben, Dan, and Louis. That's it, isn't it? Are they the three we started off with the season? Searsy come back.
And then I think Gav come in a little while.
Yeah. I'm talking about the start of the season. When you took over, it's those three.
First rocked up for pre-season,
So it's those three. And then we've been chopping and changing for the good of what I think is for the good of the club. And then even over the last 6 weeks, we've brought in let's see, the 2 fullbacks, Geordie, Jack come a little bit before then. Sears is back, of course. You got Kyle there. You just brought Doobie in.
I think it's an ongoing process. You know, you don't go and buy a pair of shoes and the first pair you try and fit you and they're comfortable.
Mine do.
Nah, not the first pair. Not in the cheap shops I go to.
Oh, right.
Maybe in your shops, but not in my shops. And I think that's the case. You know, just because players are coming in and it's not quite working for us, that's we've still got to have them through the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've still got to have them through the door to find the one that fits us perfectly.
I was actually talking to your dad, and you know, I was saying to him, you know, this is and people have to understand this is a work in progress, and what we're doing is we're bringing players in, and it's really like, sorry to say, it was like a pre-season for us. You know, obviously we want to be safe in this league, but we're bringing good players in and we want to see how they perform in our team, and by the time the end of the season, if we give them enough games, we know whether they're right for us next season.
That's it.
So we're not having to have 4 pre-season games and make a decision. We're making decisions as we're going along right now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the remit, and I think we'll be a far better side and club for it for next season. I was speaking to their chairman. You know, funny enough, he said they come out of the East Midlands Alliance, and he said in their first season they come 10th. They were top goal scorers with 87 goals, but they let 77 in. And I said, oh, that's a bit like us. He said, yeah, that's what it's like. He said you have to understand the league, know it. You know, in my programme notes I said there's teams who they don't lack ambition, but they know what their limits are. Like Frome last week, you know, so we have to learn that and understand the clubs we're playing against, not so much the team, but what the clubs remit to their managers might be to stay up. The Chippenhams, the Fromes, the teams like that, the Biddlefords, you know, and we learn a lot this season, not just on the football field, but, you know, about clubs, you know, and about ourselves. So, you know, I'm not disheartened in any shape or form. It would have been nice to I'm not even going to say for morale to beat Leamington, but
3 points. I think
but we done really well today. And you know, Craig Stewart said to me, "Do you know what it reminds me of, Mike?" I said, "What?" He said, "Slough last year. Give them a belting, you know, bit of a run around, played really good football, and got snatched 1-0. I'm not going to say we were mugged, but we weren't far off it."
No, we dominated for large periods of that game. For first 45 minutes, we dominated.
I think we shocked them.
And I think that we played to our strengths, which was get the ball, move it quickly.
Yeah, they did the same second half to their strengths.
Yeah, and they just played to what's got them up to the top of the league, and that's just direct football.
They hang in there, wouldn't they? They hang in every game, and they kick, bollock and bite, and they whinge and moan, and they pressure, and they generally just nick goals. You know, I bet they've had more 1-0s in this league than anybody else.
Yeah, and they, you know,
that's their strength and fair play.
Yeah,
that's the way they want to play, but that ain't for me.
No, you know, I want to play total football. I want to be like Barcelona. I know it's impossible, but hey, you can have your dreams, can't you, boys?
Yeah, of course you can.
Hey, and why not? You know, and if you go out and see what we done in the first half, where, you know, the team got clapped off the field today, which was commendable to all the supporters. Everybody thought we'd done really well, and they enjoyed what they were watching, us playing good football, win or lose. And, you know, that's what we want. And believe me, as we build this club and build the teams all the way through and they learn, we're going to win a lot more than we lose, that's for sure. But we are going to enjoy coming here and watching it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's a work in progress.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's not going to happen overnight. We never claimed to come in this league and win it and all the rest of it. What we wanted to do was cement our place in the league, which I think we're going to do quite easily, and, you know, build for the future. And that's what we're doing. The players we're bringing in, they're young, they're hungry. Half of them have still got a chance of playing a higher level. So it's going in the right direction, and people have just got to buy into it. You know, that it's a work in progress, and success don't come overnight. And
Monday night, and we got Maidstone.
Monday night. Yeah, we've got a 21s game Monday night.
And for those of you supporters who don't know, and I don't know if this gets out by Monday, but Adam's looking at me and looking a bit ill there. But anyway,
no life outside of football.
No life outside of football, Adam. So if we can get our interview out sometime,
but Sunday,
the under 21s are playing Maidstone here. If you get time, come down, free entry, come down and watch these lads, because I watched them against Brentford 6 weeks ago and I thought they were outstanding. And that's the sort of quality we've got wanting to play for our club and coming through our club. So when you look at that, you're going to look and go, wow, these are good. So come down Monday, see what we're doing. We've got a long trip to Bideford next Saturday, which no one's looking forward to, but it's a trip, and it's far better than going down on a Tuesday night. Well, these two are, because they're going off for a jolly.
I'm going after this.
Oh yeah, they're going off for a jolly. But let's get on to next Saturday. Let's take our football with us down there next week if we possibly can. And I hope the team's confident.
Yeah.
They're disappointed today, obviously, but hey, we move on. Great stuff. All right.
Cheers.